Hey everybody, it's Thursday.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Night Bite.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And Josh is driving, so hopefully he doesn't actually get to look at you guys this whole time. But you might have noticed that we didn't have an intro or anything today because we are actually mobile. We've been talking for so long about going to St. Paul, and that happens to be actually this weekend. And Thursday, this is our travel day. So, we've never tried to do this from the road, and I have no idea if you guys can even hear us at all. But we decided that while we were sitting here and hanging out anyways, that we might as well spend it with you guys. So,
Yeah.
a few people checking in, so that's good. Not immediately negative feedback. So, we have no idea how our signal is going to be on this drive. And so it might fade in and out a little bit. So to those of you that are at home, thanks for bearing with us. Jay's asking, how's the drive so far? Honestly, we left like a really long time ago, but we did not get very far because we decided to stop for dinner. We took our dog and we dropped her off at the kennel for the weekend, which is kind of sad, love having Finn along. But she can't come to the shows, and so we got to go out to dinner because otherwise it's only fast food on the road for us. So, thanks to everybody who's checking in. And we are so excited to have the weekend get rolling. So, the travel sometimes is the hard part, but sometimes it's the fun part. And I think this time it's halfway between. Sometimes the anticipation of getting to the show actually makes the drive kind of tough. So.
Well, we've had some challenges over the last couple of shows with, technical difficulties. So we've been trying to work on that and get that a little bit better. But then also the fun stuff, like we got some more decals and we got some business cards.
You can't see that at all. You can't see. It's got a really sweet logo. Oh yeah, if I hold it back here, check that out. Brand new Crappie Junction business card.
So there's fun stuff. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
That is the most awesome part about the shows, is actually running into everybody and just talking to everybody at the shows, because no matter what's going on, everybody is here and loves fishing. And so tons of different people all fishing for different species and everything. But that's kind of what's fun, is bouncing ideas off other people and seeing what they have to say.
Yeah, and this is a great show because there's a lot of pros there. We'll be able to pick brains as well as maybe take a couple videos with them, get some of their secrets. So that's kind of one of my favorite parts. And just something that doesn't get talked about these shows a whole lot is the energy in the building. That's pretty much my favorite thing, and what I tell everybody is when you get so many people charged up for the same thing. It's kind of like going to a sporting event for your favorite team, or or some kind of rally. Like you go to an ice fishing show and it's all ice anglers, and so just everybody is so amped up, and there's so many stories, and like you even try to like listen a little bit, but there's too many conversations going on that you can't even keep track of who caught what fish in what country, and it's just crazy.
Well, and like you're saying, the buzz at the show. I mean, I think there's been a lot of buzz even before the show. And so I think people are really excited to be there, and I'm thinking that there's going to be a pretty great crowd.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you guys are planning to be there, definitely come and say hi to us. One of the places that we're going to be stationed for the weekend is the Up North Sports booth. So the cool thing about having an expo this big is that Striker is there, and they have a fabulous booth right on the first floor. They will have tons of great products out, tons of things for people to see, tons of great giveaways. I guess we can hit on that a little bit too. But when you have a booth that big, what they do is there's all the different retailers there that you can actually purchase the product stuff. So there's like Reed's and Green General, and like I don't even want to start naming them all because I don't even know who I'm missing. But the booth that we spend our time in is Up North Sports, because those guys are honestly awesome. It makes for such a fun show when you are excited to be at the booth that you're in.
Yeah, and there's 3 floors to explore, so don't forget that. Like a lot of people get caught up in the in the big crowd down on the first floor, or maybe even get, you want a little bit of elbow room, so you move up the ramp to the second floor. There's another floor, and that's honestly where they've been sticking all the new booths, and new booths mean new stuff. So I always like to start at the third floor and work my way down, because the stuff on the third floor, you already know what's there. You're not going to miss out on a whole bunch of stuff, maybe a couple new booths that got in on the first floor, but like all the new stuff, the new inventions, the small companies, all on the third floor.
On the third floor, that is absolutely for sure. The other thing is, sometimes that expo gets hot with all those people in it. So when you need a break, that third floor is a fabulous place to go. Seeing some people check in. Rich Lemmer says, I think he said that he was at the airport. I'm trying to read, all these comments are really small. We don't have a real big screen. So he's going to be in the Razor booth this weekend, and that's going to be fabulous. Who does not love checking out awesome loggers? Roland says that we're cutting out. Unfortunately, it just is going to be, because we're traveling and internet here is up and down and up and down. So if it's that bad, we apologize.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Terrible, then we're here too. Jay is mentioning the Apex suit. We had mentioned the Striker booth. And it is such an exciting thing this year. Some fabulous technology packed into a super, super mobile suit. But I have heard that they are going to be giving away suits, Apex suits, for people who are there this weekend. So I think their Facebook page had posted that they were giving out a suit a day. Again, that means 3 suits. So 3 lucky people are going to go home with brand new technology and winter gear this week.
Yeah, and I think on Striker's page, they also shared something. They have a big, huge grand prize giveaway of something. I think it's one of the sign, put your emails in, put your name in. But it was like $2,500 worth of stuff, including a Striker suit, a couple rods, some other odds and ends, stuff like that, a Razor auger. So, check that out while you're on the page too. But speaking of giveaways, like that's a huge theme at this show as well. Is that St. Paul is known for the giveaways, and not that you have any time now since the show is tomorrow, but for those of you that do already, or you have the address labels, bring the address labels, or we have a personalized rubber stamp with our name and address on it. Bring that stuff, so when you sign up for these things, then you can put it on the entry form and throw it in the box, and then you can keep walking. Like, you don't have to sit there and fill your name out all day, And everybody wants to win that ice castle at the top of the stairs that they give away every year. That's a quick way to do that.
That is absolutely for sure. Roland was checking in and saying that you guys are having a harder time hearing me. We're actually trying to run the audio through the cars, so the speaker is closer to Josh, and I'm going to have to do Josh's favorite thing and just yell at him this whole time. So, that was good feedback, though.
Yeah, thank you.
And Mark, I love the emojis. We are checking in from the road because we figured either way we would be here. And Josh is pretty good at keeping keeping his eyes where they need to be. So, it's been kind of a fun trip so far. So,
yeah.
Other than that, I am looking forward to just all the what to expect, and the favorite thing is going to be coming out of the weekend. So, all of those new booths that Josh hinted at, whether that's baits or whether that's other accessories, that is what we are excited to see.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how much more to touch on that. Like, it's going to be awesome. I know that I heard just this afternoon that if you know who Sobe is, he's going to be down at the clam booth this Saturday, doing a meet and greet and talking some fishing. There's a whole bunch of great seminars. Our buddy Pat is going to be giving his famous tip-up versatility talk. I've heard that one, once or twice, and every time I learn something. And that's the cool thing, is there's so much information that you can almost, even though you've been to the shows and you've heard the talks from some of these guys, like you learn something almost every time. And that's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. And the other thing that they tend to have that we have not talked about yet is, a zone, a kid zone, they tend to call it. Or a trout tank. So they've had beanbag toss, and they've had all kinds of different games, and like a fishing, like an actual fishing setup, like where you're holding a rod. And
yeah, it's like virtual.
Yeah.
Yep, that was pretty cool. You got to play with that a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean,
so it is a great event, for the family. If you are planning on coming, bring the people that you live with. Bring somebody maybe who's never ice fished. Because, worst case scenario, they cannot go up and do those things. You can keep looking around.
Yeah. Well, and for those of you that aren't coming, we're talking a lot about the show, but some of the other things that, that we should probably touch on is ice. Not everybody's going to the show this weekend, although it almost feels like it while you're there. But just be careful out there with the ice. Even up in Ontario, guys are still, fishing on 6-7 inches of ice. It's beginning of December. Usually they're on like a foot of ice by now. So, there's people in different spots on different bodies of water finding some ice. There's a lot of open water yet, so just be careful out there. Take your spud bar, take your picks, wear cleats. I know some of us had some snow recently, so that might not be so much of an issue, but yeah, just make sure you have all the safety gear.
The snow, though, does make it really hard to visually see how much ice is there. And so although sometimes it makes it easier to walk out on, I love what Josh was saying about being careful and having these different pieces of safety gear, because like you're saying, especially when ice is thinner or just forming like this, conditions change fast.
Yeah, they can change very rapidly. It's been warm the last couple days. The ice around us that we talked about last Sunday didn't even last through the week. Like it looks crummy now. So, I was a little bit sad coming to the show just because I wanted to be on ice. But then on my way home today, I was looking at ice and I was like, well, I'm glad to be going to the show.
And I think that's hopefully how a lot of other people feel, because I know up in Minnesota, some of those people, like we were saying, they had ice, but again, those conditions might have changed. So, I think those years where we don't have ice all over, there's always really a great turnout.
And it's supposed to be decent weather this weekend, so hopefully people that are planning on coming, be safe on your drive and come out, hang out for the day or a couple days or whatever you're doing.
That's true.
Yeah. What else?
I mean, other than that, we haven't really been on ice. It's been a very long time since we've been in the boat. I mean, I guess like only a month, but it feels like forever. But, I guess, again, that's the best thing about the shows is we get to go, and there's still a few things that I need for ice season coming up here. And one of them actually, what do they even call that? Otter has it's like a center console unit.
Little sidekick thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The Otter sidekick?
Yeah.
Has little notches that's let it sit on top of the 5-gallon bucket.
Well, it can go on a sled and stuff too.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was meant. Well, but then you're right. It has the cutout for the bucket.
Yep. And then you can set your stuff on there. One of our buddies, Clayton Schick, he uses his a lot. He said that he stores one of his extra auger batteries in the middle part because he likes to stack. There's rod holders in the back of it, but he said that it can kind of tip off if you put too much weight in the back and not enough over the center of the bucket. So that was a pretty good tip I learned from him the other day.
Yeah, except for it's a terrible tip for us because we never need extra batteries for our auger.
Well, we'll just have to.
I guess with the drill, we'll bring extra for that.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, I'm sure.
But we're planning on using it for kind of our ice camping situation. So we have our brand new hub, and we've been talking about staying out on the ice and all of that. But one of the things that we really noticed last year is that you just kind of need a place to put, like, I don't know, your little things. Like you go to bed at night and you need like a nightstand. It's kind of a crazy thing, but my phone and maybe some other things, a flashlight or who knows. And so having that to go between our cots, and then to use later in the day for fishing, that's going to be a perfect piece of equipment for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Other things that I'm looking for, I know that Widowmaker Jigs has some awesome stuff out that honestly we have been to 2 shows and I have not picked anything up. So there's some jigs that I'm going to go and dig through, that's for sure. What else are we looking for?
I guess I don't know. I never go there looking for anything
but it finds me.
Yeah, there's just so much. There's just so much there to look at, and I'm looking for all the new stuff. I just want to see what people have come up with. It's been extra long development period since we've been on here, so yeah. What are you reading?
Matt Bain said he thought that seeing that was the highlight of the show. Seeing me. Yeah, that will be the highlight of the show, actually. I'm trying to lean in because the writing today is like this big.
Why don't you pull it up on your phone? You could be watching this on your phone.
Well, we'll see how this goes. But that is kind of where we started. Is we are so excited to come and see all the different people. Again, that is what this show is about.
Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, we we started doing this kind of stuff with the whole bringing the show to you guys, and along the way, I think the best thing that we've gained is so many friends. And it's weird. You think about friends, and it's like hanging out every Friday or whatever. But these are like our show friends, and the show friends kind of just extend throughout the year, and we get to keep touch through social media. And honestly, it's brought us some of you guys too, right? Because you guys come and hang out with us, and we get to chit chat and talk about crazy stuff.
But that does remind me of something different. So I'm going to switch topics really fast. Sorry. But
see how that works, everybody?
Yeah, Maggie, thank you for checking in though, because that reminded me of something else that's awesome about the shows. JT Outdoor Products is actually going to have some special edition rods that they are putting out for the St. Paul Expo only. A very, very awesome like red, white, blue theme. So I know that I was going to say the information is available on their Facebook page, but quite frankly, if you've been on social media the last day and a half, I mean, you've probably seen it come across your newsfeed.
Yeah, probably.
But that is, really cool because there are sometimes booths that offer things that are special edition, and that does make it really exciting for the day. I mean, I guess really. I know every day that the show opens, Clam does their like bucket giveaway, and there's always kind of a mad rush that like everybody wants a free bucket. Isn't that funny?
I want a free bucket.
Yeah, but that's a thing. Bill Young is checking in, says, see you there tomorrow. When we were leaving our house and you drove by and honked, were you leaving at that same time? Or maybe you're just going somewhere else, who knows? But it is, people kind of come from far and wide for this event, so that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. What else?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a really good point. I don't know. I don't even know what else. I don't know what to expect.
Does anybody want to talk about anything?
That's the thing, is we're here for the long drive, so it's actually been pretty good conditions. There's like no snow or anything, so I heard Sunday is going to be kind of questionable, but this drive is easy peasy so far.
Yeah, it's been actually very nice.
Jay says we're 2 of the best anglers that you know. Jay, you must not know a lot of people. I'm kidding. We just have a lot of time to go out there and try different things because, I mean, I guess that's what it's about. So many of our favorite fishing spots are the places that people say, there's no fish out there. You can't catch fish out there. There was a big die-off, And I think especially last year, one of the things that we started doing is focusing on some of the fish that just are right under the ice. Sometimes you hear stories, people talk about fishing so shallow that like the crappie comes up their hole to bite a hook. I mean, I've never had that extreme of a situation, but I think so often people go out ice fishing assuming that fish are all only deep, and so having that opportunity to do something different. Sometimes we even find those things on accident, but spending the time out there is what allows for those things.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're pretty mediocre anglers at best. But when when we could truly say that like our whole life, the only reason we have jobs is so that we can have a house and a car to put our fishing stuff in and to travel our fishing stuff around with. So it's it it really is just all we do. So I think we're good by frequency is what I would say.
Well, and the other thing is like we try to be pretty honest in everything that we post.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is like we post crappies and bluegills and all of that. Pike, oh, I can catch all those fish. But like honestly, I like struggle when it comes to catching walleye. Like honestly, we talk to so many great walleye, guides and tournament fishers and all of these different people. You would think that I would have this like mental bank of experience that would help me out. And honestly, like I get on the water and I'm like, don't even know where to start. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, we've caught walleyes, especially in the different river systems. But again, having the time to be able to take the time to try something new, because I think so often people only have small amounts of time and just do what they know.
Well, and that's really true. And like, when we say we fish all the time is every Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe a Friday sprinkled in every now and then, but like we fish. We're weekend warriors, man. We go out there and we just fish weekends. We work during the week. Sometimes we'll get out a little bit after work. We can, but yeah, it just is a lot of grinding. But that's what it's about. That's why we kind of dabble in making our own tackle, and we got into building rods and doing all kinds of stuff and just learning. Learning's the biggest key here you when you stop learning about stuff and you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll have a good day, and that's what keeps you wanting to keep doing the same thing. But a lot of times, and I get stuck in this too, like a lot of times you keep doing the same thing and then it's not working and you just want to keep doing it because the one time it worked, but you got to switch it up. You got to switch it up. And we were just talking to somebody the other day about how, some of the old baits and stuff, it's like a cycle, how stuff comes around. It's really popular. The fish see it a whole bunch, and then it stops being as productive. And then some of the older baits that used to be productive are productive again. And just last night, I came across some old jigs that were from when I lived in Minnesota back in my high school days that I used to catch a lot of walleye on, and it was always on my bobber rod or a rattle reel, and I only had two left. And so I hopped on the interwebs and figured out, that you can use some of this, some putty, basically plaster of Paris, and you can mold lures out of it. So I tinkered around with that, and I posted a picture on our Instagram. I got it all figured out, and now I got enough for the winter.
That is kind of fun though.
Yeah.
From back in the conversation talking about all the fishing, Darren Amundsen checking in saying that's a whole lot of fishing. And it is, and our family would tell you that same thing because they miss us a lot of times because we're not out visiting them, which is sad because we love them.
They can come visit us on the ice. We got a big, huge hub now.
That's true. That's true. I don't know if they would have do that. That's funny. But you know, Darren, you're another booth that we are excited to come and see. Fish Donkey always has some really great stuff that's going on. And I heard that you guys are on the first floor this year. So really looking forward to that.
Yep. And Emily's favorite tournament's coming up, the Crappie Queen tournament.
I haven't even heard officially if they're doing it this year. They just do it every year.
But that's always a fun one to watch Emily fish and talk to the other anglers.
The problem is that we'll never beat some of these ladies. Have you seen how big crappies are coming out of Pennsylvania? And, like, it's on the East Coast these days. Like, Minnesota, you're great. You have awesome crappies too, but like, I will never be. I don't know. Those fish don't live around me. I'm gonna have to take a big trip this winter to get the runnings for that tournament.
Yeah, we might have to go visit our buddy Donnie.
He's in Minnesota. He's not the East Coast. He catches big fish, though. That is true. That is absolutely true.
Canada fish.
Let's just go to Canada. Let's go to Canada. Skip St. Paul. We're gonna be halfway there from our house. Just I didn't bring any fishing equipment. No, let's not go to Canada.
We have one rod.
We have one. I think the spud bar was left in the truck. We chisel it all open. Sounds terrible.
That does sound terrible.
Oh my gosh. Darren says, see you there. We're excited for that. Looking forward to it. So also looking forward to ice season, getting on the ice and catching those crappies. We do have some new rods to try out this year. A few new JT snare rods, and a few of the rods that we are making ourselves at home.
Yeah, I mean, we have what did we buy? We bought a Rogue. We each have a Rogue from JT. And then we bought the walleye snares. And you got Joe Bricko's favorite, the 24-inch panhandler with the string bobber on it. So
it is awesome though. The nice thing about those JT spring bobbers is that they do flex with the rod. So, a lot of times you'll see, the rod and then the fish bites and then that spring bobber just like folds right over. And that just honestly makes it a little bit tough sometimes in reeling them in. Fish wiggle about and do this and that. It's more likely that they're going to get off. So when you have that spring bobber that works really smooth, like the extension of your rod, that's something I am really excited to do that this year, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to need some new rod holders, though. I know that JT sells some. I've never tried those out. They fold down really nice. But if anybody at home has a favorite, rod holder that's like collapsible, what is your go-to? Because that's something I'm going to be looking into this year.
Yeah, we did try out a bunch last year just to see what kind of fit our style. That one that JT has is pretty easy to work with. We just don't have any of those. There's another one that's like black and green that folds up that worked okay. Just a new style for us. So it's been really fun. I really enjoyed last year fishing with the snare rods.
Well, and the reason for that is because we were able to really spread out. So I'm not a fan of like leaving open holes when it's super, super frigid, when it's really bad weather. I mean, sometimes that's just not for me, but especially on those beautiful days when you're kind of covering water, to be able to drill some holes and set out those snare rods kind of about wherever you're fishing, it's really, really cool. It allows you to see where or as the fish are moving around because they don't always just sit in one place.
Yeah, and we don't have a Mega Live or a Panoptics yet.
I've been insisting that we don't need one, but I'm getting to the point where I do really want one.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Other than that, we've got back slaughters, and you got your hummingbirds. So all of our what do you call them? The different points from the boat are waypoints and stuff. That's going to carry over really, really well because we're going to be able to take that straight out onto the ice. And that Vexlar just never lets me down, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else. I'm just driving.
Just driving. Well, I don't know. That's all I got too, I guess.
All right.
If anybody is interested in seeing specific things from the show, you hear that a vendor's there, you hear that a product is there, definitely let us know if there's things that you specifically want to hear about. Otherwise, we kind of like to bring in whatever's kind of new and exciting to us. So, if we don't make it anywhere, that's never like a judgment against those booths. It's not that we don't think it's good. It is just hard to cover like every single booth in an expo, especially when it's 3 floors of it. So if there is something that you are hearing about that you would like to hear from us, let us know and we'll see if we can get that going for you guys. And I guess we'll just do our best as whatever we can, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just bringing you different information whenever we can. Actually, thank you to those of you who are putting things in the comments already, because I am actually seeing those. I kind of zoned out in the conversation and forgot to watch it. So, we will definitely get out to all of those people. Sullivan Downs of R&B Jigs.
R&B Jigs, yeah, okay.
Darren just checked and he fished 66 times for a total of 244 hours. That's a whole lot of fishing in an ice season. That's actually awesome to know. I've never thought to be able to track that on. Yeah, it's interesting.
244 hours. Huh. I wonder how many. That's like, if I was going to say how much we broke down, I say we fish like on an average, probably 10-hour days. On an average, some days are like 14 hours, and some days are like only 7 or 8. So, yeah, 10. That's 20 hours a weekend. 10 weekends.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah, that is more than I thought.
Fish 20 hours in a weekend, almost a whole entire day in swim bait. That's kind of cool. That's interesting. Never thought of it that way. Huh. Jared, if that's information that I can check on that app, please let me know how to do that, because that's really unique. But with that, we will stop at your booth and a whole bunch of others. And so, let us know what you guys think. Tune in with us if you have questions as we're chatting with people. I know sometimes the interviews with vendors can be a little bit short because sometimes, short and sweet is best. But if you are tuning in and have questions, make sure to drop that there, because especially while we're with them, that's something that's very easy to be able to answer. And otherwise, we just look forward to having a lot of fun and doing what we can and bringing the show to everybody.
Yep.
So, I guess with that, looking forward to the expo and looking forward to seeing all you guys there, and looking forward to next week's edition of The Night Bite.
Night, everybody.